Of Sid Caesar, where have I been?
Oh.
The poor man had a terrible alcohol.
Yes, please.
Okay, now
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
My cousin's one.
Starting service at Temple Sholom and Pompano Beach, Florida.
I'm David. Tash, like John.
Good, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah, cool, I know.
Shabbos, okay. Hello. Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos.
This is my,
Okay, and the thing that
a
you
friend
said
of
you
mine
needed,
literally just like,
the thing that you said you needed,
Barbara Streisand, she had a left side basket. That was in
no,
Yentl
professionally done.
Okay, hello, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
inclusive, I'm flying out to
Okay, hi. Good Shabbos, lady. Good to see you.
We'll see what happens
Okay.
with that.
All right, good Shabbos. We haven't started yet. I'm just.
So what's the word?
My laptop, so I can interact with the people.
The unicorn can only be caught if the unicorn sees a virgin. You will place your head on his head. Good Shabbos. Dining guy?
I can't, yeah, so if I had a laptop, I brought my laptop, I couldn't.
What if you have another phone?
Okay, hi sweetie, good Shabbos. I didn't bring the bowls home yet.
Okay.
There are a lot of thirsty dogs out there. I don't trust myself to carry them. Okay, we had a lovely benefit, good Shabbos, for, oh, I missed the people in the back. Good Shabbos. For the puppies and the pussycats a couple of weeks ago. And that's why there are about 5 dog bowls on my desk. I tried them all out and they seemed to get the job done. So I'm gonna.
Which is your favorite?
They're all, what color blue is that?
They're this color,
What is that?
teal.
Teal. I don't do those colors. I do Roy G.
I'm
Biv.
Jerry.
You have a
Would
teal
it rain
dog?
if you had
Oh,
a
yeah.
My daughter uses
dog?
Shabbos, how are you?
You have a teal
No,
dog?
the dog bowls are teal.
Oh, the bowl. Oh, I thought
What's your first name?
Is it helpful to you to answer people if you use my, I said on the phone, you want to give you like,
Are you on my Facebook page?
oh, no. Can't help you with that.
She's working. Just left work, but now, how about?
Hello, Shabbat Shalom.
On Shabbos, and his daughter, his wife.
All right, sweetie. What? I'm sorry? Oh, right, yes.
How you doing, sir?
All right, good Shabbos. Hello, Stephen.
Okay, go and take a book.
Okay, good to see you.
Okay.
I still need a book. Okay.
Show me your shoes. No.
There's a copy of the Jewish Traveler here. I keep thinking that somebody wants me to go somewhere. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're especially grateful. You're really moving in, aren't you? She took her shoes off. Okay.
I wish I could take mine off.
You take your shoes off.
Please, Paul.
Okay. All right, I'm David Mark. I come with the building. I'll be your rabbi for the evening. That's that. And I'm going to talk about the Torah portion, which is Chaye Sarah. It means the life of Sarah. Except it's very odd. Why do they call it the life of Sarah when the poor thing passes away? I mean, she was plenty old. Hi, good Shabbos. Are they giving out babies out there? Okay. Can I have one? Ann Beth would be so surprised. Look what I found at the shore. You know, when Tyler was born, who is now my baby, who is now 34, such a baby. Anyway, I had no idea how to hold a baby. I thought you hold them like a puppy. I thought you hold one hand under the tush and the other hand on the chest.
Not good.
You can't do that because their head flops all over. It's very odd.
That's another reason.
She had no neck. Okay, by the time Jordan came along, I was an expert. All right, I have the Torah portion in my pocket, courtesy of Chabad. I always love to, I grew up saying Xerox. What are we supposed to say now? Copy, photocopy.
Xerox is fine.
Not with my students. My students,
I would do it.
no, they post-date Xerox. Okay, Chaye Sarah in a nutshell, courtesy of Chabad. Yes, so it must be right. Ooh. You know, they have an expression in the Talmud, if it's kosher, if it's super kosher, it's matame et hayadayim. It makes your hands unclean. I just don't get that, okay? But we'll see what happens. All right, Sarah passes away at the age of 127, which really shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone, but why did she pass away so abruptly? Oh, hi.
Stop breathing.
She stopped. Yeah, she stopped. I'm not asking the manner in which she passed away. I want to know the reason, the circumstances.
Because he said Isaac to the mountain.
Did they have an
Isaac, yes, I've got stereo Isaac. Yes, what happens last, what happens last Torah portion is that Isaac is nearly sacrificed, and allegedly Sarah was in shock when she heard that her beloved husband almost killed their beloved son, and she died of shock, okay? Now, prior to that, Abraham had purchased a family. I'm sorry, maybe I don't want to be here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Okay. Back to this. Now, prior to this, he had gone to seek out, no. After she passes away, he goes to seek out a suitable place to bury her. And apparently in those days, caves were it, okay? A cave would save you all kinds of trouble. You didn't have to dig anything. And he chooses a very lovely cave. His only issue was choice of location, because it's in Hebron. And you know Hebron is not a very peaceable kingdom these days. Well, he goes to see the Hittites, right? The Hittites were in the country in those days. And the best thing you could say about the Hittites is they're not the Hivites. But the Hittites are all sitting at the village gate, which I remember, that was where Shlomo Carlebach taped his first album. Does anybody remember the village gate besides me?
Yeah.
It was Art Delugov. Art Delugov was a Hungarian, was he Hungarian with that name, Delugov? But he bought himself an apostrophe because it made him sound, Delugov clearly sounds much more Italian than Delugov. So, anyway, the Hittites are sitting at the village gate, and Abraham comes along and says, behold, they love to do that, behold, I am a stranger and a sojourner amongst you, and I do need a tomb for my dearly beloved, and can you help me out here? So all the elders of the Hittites say, here now, my lord, you are a prince among us, we'll give you any cave you want for free. Now, why is it not a good idea to take a free cave from a Hittite?
Because then they would come back and say, we helped you, and he would be beholden to them.
Okay, beholden
He
isn't
said,
terrible.
isn't that where he says, not even a leather strap would I take?
Well, that was earlier. That was
Okay.
with Melchizedek or Melchizedek. Very good. Okay, because he's afraid that they'll come along later and say, well, you never paid any money for the cave, we're taking it back. Although why they would want to take it back once poor old Sarah's already in there is beyond me. So he says, no, I am used to this sort of thing. I have made a fortune in the cattle business. I am a pretty good shepherd. Could you put in a good word for me with Ephron the Hittite? Ephron appears in this text like a used car salesman. Now, this is not to cast aspersions on the used car industry. It's just that it's hard to trust these people. And Ephron comes along and says, my lord, praiseworthy, could you, I'll give you the cave for nothing. And Abraham says, no, please, can we settle the business? I really would like to move it along. And he's in shock, okay? For whatever reason, he is in shock, okay? And Ephron says, my lord, what is 400 silver shekels between you and me? Cash on the barrelhead, pay it over now. No problems. Now, 400 silver shekels. Yes, right. I'm glad other people are aware. I mean, do you know what a shekel is worth now? 24 cents. Okay, but then, no, it's silver. Come on, it's silver. And we were almost, was it bi-currency, something like that? Gold and silver for a while there? All right. So he pays for it, and he buries her. And the cave of Machpelah, you should know, is the place to get buried. Everybody is in the cave of Machpelah, with one glaring exception. Adam and Eve are there. And how they made it all the way to Hebron from the Garden of Eden, I cannot say. All the patriarchs, all the matriarchs are buried in Hebron, except Rachel. Rachel died on the road, poor thing, and they buried her separately. Now, Rachel's tomb is approximately the size of Fort Knox, and it has become a very popular destination for folks who have infertility problems. And what they do is they take a red bendel, they take a red ribbon, and they circle the building. So the red bendel merchant is making out like nobody's business, okay? But now, I just got to tell you, okay? Look, I went to Hebron back in '72. My aunt, whom I loved, let her rest in peace, and my crazy uncle, they had a guide, and we went to Hebron. And for some reason that day, Uncle Henry was wearing his white shorts, his white t-shirt, his white athletic socks, and a pair of U.S. Keds that had probably seen better days. But they were also white because he painted them with, what's the name of that polish? Santa White? Yes, he was extremely white. And I get out. Now you have to keep in mind, in graduate school, I was a substitute teacher in the New York City Board of Ed. I mean, talk about a lesson plan. I didn't even have a piece of chalk. And I was all over the city. I was on the west side of Manhattan. I was up in Harlem. I was in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Harlem was very nice. Harlem, I gotta say, it was full of life. And I used to go to this little fish and chips joint that was run by the Nation of Islam. So, anyway. But I would go into the classroom, and the kids would either leave or stay. If they were in high school, they certainly left. But I have never been looked at with such hatred as I encountered in Hebron. And because I come from a big city, New York, notice how I worked that into the conversation, you always know, if you're from a big city, any big city, Baltimore, Cleveland, whatever, you get the vibe that you shouldn't be there. And that's how I felt about Hebron. I mean, come on, in Israel proper, we got lots and lots of monuments. We've got the wall, we've got everything in Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, if you dig down 2 inches, you're going to find something historical. That's like it's like a basement. Okay, I didn't want Hebron, and Uncle Henry gives me a shekel coin and says, "Go give it to that kid." So I walk across the big open square, and I feel all the eyes burning into me because in those days I was Orthodox and I had to wear a yarmulke every place. And I give it to the little boy, and he puts on the appropriate UNICEF little boy sad face. But I was so glad when we left there. We never made it into the cave, okay? Now, if you don't know, they do have different days. Maybe the Jews get it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Muslims get it Tuesday, Thursday. And you'd think it would be a place of peace. Because after all, Abraham is the father of us all, right? We're cousins with the Muslims. So it really bothered me about that. But let's do a little romance. Isaac needs a bride. And this is long before dating. This is certainly long before computer dating. And in those days, it was all a shidduch, okay? It was done by, that is a setup. It was done by a shadchan. And you know what a shadchan is in modern Hebrew? It's a stapler. Although there was an Israeli lady here a few weeks ago, and she says they have another name for it, so maybe it's an electric stapler. But Eliezer is the chief servant of Abraham's household. And Abraham calls him in and says, I want you to go back to the old country. I want you to go to Haran and see my brother Nahor and see if he's got a bride for my son. Because Isaac, he is the weakest part of the patriarchal chain. He's like a Nebuchadnezzar. He's a Shlemiel. He's born into the family business. He's got a silver spoon in his mouth. But okay, they say his spirit was shattered by the Akedah, by the sacrifice of Isaac, where he couldn't trust his father anymore, which is a whole psychological thing. But I just go with the Casper milquetoast kind of thing. All right, so Eliezer puts his hand under Abraham's thigh and swears, which is a means of swearing that we're not doing anymore for some reason. And he gets his camels and his donkeys and, all of his merry men, and they're on their way. And while he's there, see, this is the beauty of it. It's really, really romance, old-fashioned romance. Eliezer is going along, and he's praying to God, but he doesn't say, my God. It's like his my God once removed. He says, Lord God of my father Abraham, when I get to Haran, if a girl comes out and offers to water the cattle, and if she agrees, then I will be extremely grateful to you. Okay. So they get it, and they get to the village well, which was the candy store in those days. Everybody hung out there. And as soon as he gets there, and of course the cattle and so on, everybody's very thirsty, the guys are thirsty too, the door of a nearby home opens, and who comes out? Rebecca. Now she is Isaac's first cousin. Do you think it's a good idea for them to get married? Never mind, they do, but I don't want to skip over the business. She comes up to Eliezer, and she's really a cheeky little thing, and she says, my lord, she says, I will water your cattle, and I will water all of you guys too. And in the text, yeah, well, she's really buff. Okay, she's been working out. She's been going down to Haran Fitness. She's been lifting those clay jugs the whole time. No nasty, whatever.
She has excess energy.
She's great. She's young, and you want to know the truth. I love Rebecca. Rebecca is the most dynamic of the matriarchs. Rebecca is second only to the most dynamic woman in the Hebrew Bible. Who's that? Deborah, very good, who coincidentally is my bar mitzvah portion. Okay, Haftorah. Well, she gives them the little speech, then she's drawing water, and Eliezer stands by, and he is in awe. He is totally silent. He is struck by how quickly God answered his prayer. Okay? Well, so then she says, you want to come see my family? Oh, her brother Lavan comes out. Lavan is a scoundrel, a double dealer, a lowlife, a paskudniak, really a horrible, horrible person. And he comes out because he saw that Eliezer rewards Rebecca by giving her some serious jewelry. He gives her earrings and a necklace and a nose ring. And not a nose ring like they have now. This is a serious nose ring, okay? This is 14 karat. What can I tell you? It was the style. And Lavan says, come, my lord, come. So Eliezer comes along with the other fellas, and they meet with the family, and this is the only proto-feministic statement in the entire Torah. Because in those days, if you wanted a bride, you just got her. Did you need her consent?
No.
You did not. Because I've said this before. I love Judaism, etc., but the fact is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are boys' clubs written by and for boys, and they only started letting the women onto the bus back in 1969, which is a whole nother thing. Okay, so they say to her, here it comes, proto-feminist, do you want to go with this guy? They gave her a choice, but you know the choice was somewhat moot, and my batteries died. Nope. Okay, somebody will have to replace me. All right, so she says, yes, I will go. And she gets on the camel, and they're on their way. And when they come back, I'm sorry, do you think she'd like to see the hall? It's a beautiful hall. Okay, really, I designed it myself. Okay? Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you for the batteries. Well, so, where were we? Okay, she goes, and she sees Isaac from a distance. Isaac is walking in the fields. Okay, multiple choice. Isaac is walking in the fields because A, he's working out, B, he's a luftmensch, C, he's davening mincha, he's doing the afternoon service, which he just invented, by the way. Yeah. What have I got? A, luftmensch. He was a luftmensch, okay? Oh, no, he was working out. A, he's working out. B, he's a luftmensch. Isaac.
Oh, they're coming. I missed it. They're coming back now.
Yes,
coming-
yeah, they're back.
Okay.
It takes two verses, really.
Okay.
Haran to wherever Abraham
Okay.
is, no big deal. Probably heaven. Okay. All right? This is according to the rabbis. He just invented mincha. He just developed the afternoon service. Abraham did shacharit, the morning service. Isaac did mincha, the afternoon. And Jacob did Myra of the evening service. What do you say? Yes, good? Hey, why not? Why not? And she gets off the camel as soon as she sees him, and it's kind of love at first sight. They don't say anything by Yehavoto, not that she loved him or anything, but I really do love kids. Don't misunderstand. Okay. Okay. Well, and he takes her to his father's tent, and now this is the part where I think it's two guys. Don't forget, it's two guys living together since Sarah died. Abraham and Isaac. Is the place clean? Did anybody take out the dustbuster and give it a little once over? No. I have this mental picture. They're piles of cardboard boxes, okay? Jimmy John's is in one corner, Papa John's is in the other corner, a lot of Johns. And what happens is that Rebecca cleans up. She's a balabusta, okay? Which frankly is pretty much of the role that the Torah provides for women, which I apologize for, but I didn't write it. And then it's Shabbos, so she lights the candles. And as soon as she lights the candles, Abraham and Isaac are comforted for the loss of Sarah. Okay? In fact, Abraham is so comforted that he gets married again. He takes himself a concubine, thank you. And you know that old expression, if you will be my Valentine, I will be your concubine. He marries a woman by the name of Keturah, which means precious incense. According to Chabad, that's Hagar. Come on, you can't marry her twice. They already had a kid, okay? And he has how many additional sons?
6.
6. All right. Just pump them out, honey. And do they get any of the inheritance?
No.
Not a sou, not a nickel, okay? Because they're not the number one kid, all right? Even though you don't usually have, we talked about this, primogeniture, you don't usually have the firstborn getting the lion's share of the inheritance, it's ultimogeniture. It's the baby of the family getting the inheritance, okay? We don't have to go through that, but think about it, and it really is the second child. Well, he dies at the age of 175, and Isaac and Ishmael, see, at least it ends on a hopeful note. Isaac and Ishmael come together, and they cooperate in burying Papa. Isn't that nice? Now, wouldn't it be nice, I don't mean to bury somebody, but wouldn't it be nice if Isaac and Ishmael could get along just a little tiny bit? You see? Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, thank you so much for your patience. And comments, questions real quick? No? Okay, yes.
She rode off in the sunset, though, his concubine.
Keturah? Yes, well that was I wrote an essay about that. I felt bad for Keturah, so I invented a little romance between her and Ishmael.
Oh, that was good. That was
Thank you. That was me. That's totally fictitious. Because my feeling is, women get such a raw deal in the Torah. When I write my little commentary, I try to take I give a voice to the voiceless. So that's what I did for Keturah. Okay? Here we go. Let's light candles. Who's going to light candles? Would you like to light candles, you ladies?
Oh, no.
If you're going to do Alphonse and Gaston, thank you. Okay, all the ladies will perambulate in this direction. Yes.
Go that way.
That's right. Okay. No, we're here.
No, it's gonna get hit.
Oh, yes, sure. That's beautiful.
That'll work, right?
Yes, and it's pale. Okay. You just have to light it and we take care of everything else.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, wait, so we, okay. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, V'tzivanu lahadlik ner, V'tzivanu lahadlik ner, Tzivanu v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. Turn, wish good Shabbos to the person next to you.
All of us, yes. Shabbat Shalom there. Yes.
And to you, my little girl.
Shabbat Shalom.
Really busted.
I just wanted to say.
Put them on 9 minutes. Good Shabbos, thank you for coming. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Okay, good Shabbos, Toby. Up on you. Good Shabbos. Okay, I pushed your thing at John Knox.
Go the other way, the wire, be careful. Careful the wire.
Yes, oh, is that it?
Yeah, well, now you have a lovely glow.
Okay, that's great. Good Shabbos.
Watch your step.
All right.
The wire.
Really
It was less than last week, but it was okay, it was okay. Okay, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Okay, no more friendly, here we go.
Thank you for all of it. Very sweet.
Page 13.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, V'yimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, V'yimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, V'yimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sefer leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, V'yimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
You did Nefesh, page 14.
Yedid nefesh, avarach amar, neshokardach, el rezonach, yarot avlach, kemo ayat, yisrach amel, ularach, yerav lo, yedidutach, minof etzuf, vechol karam, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai,
Page 21 is the Chadodi, 21.
Lechadodi, lechakara, perei Shabbat, lechavela, lechadodi, lechakara, perei Shabbat, lechavela, shamor vesachor, legedi urechadi shmiyano, egel ameyuchad Adonai echad, שמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך אדוני לקרא קלה ולשבת לכבדה לקרא שבת לכו אליך כי מקורה ברכה בראש מקדם לסוכה סוף מעשה ושבת תחילה לך דודי ויקרא קלה ולשבת לכבדה לך דודי ויקרא קלה ולשבת לכבדה.
Please rise, 22, fourth stanza. Face the door.
Hoy בשלום ותרד בלגן בשמחה ובצולתו כבולי הסגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקרא קלה ולשבת לכבדה לך דודי לקרא קלה ולשבת לכבדה יא לילה לה 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 יא לילה לה 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 היי לילה לה יא לילה לה יא לילה לה 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 יא לילה לה 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 היי לילה יא לילה לה לה.
Page 28 is the Baruch Hu, the evening service. Please remain standing. We bow towards the ark.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם
Please remain standing with rabbinical forgetfulness. We ought to have opened the ark. Okay, so I'm going to ask Morty and Yvonne to honor us by opening the ark. You don't have to put a curtain here. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, we're good. We did the Baruch Hu. Thank you. Nicely done. Nicely arced. Okay. Please be seated.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מרי ורבים בחוכמה פותח שערים ובגדולה משנה עיתים ומחרים את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו בורא יום בלילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המרים ורבים.
All right, generally we do the Shema at this point, and I'm going to just ask that we dedicate the Shema to our brothers and sisters who were cruelly slain in the city of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a lovely city. I was there a number of years ago. But I was thinking about it this afternoon, and it occurred to me, we have in Judaism the concept of the kadosh, that is the martyr. And a martyr who dies al kiddush Hashem, who dies for the sake of heaven, is on a different madrega ruchanit, spiritual level, than ordinary folks. And they are immediately sent up to heaven. Now this is clearly very, very, very cold comfort for the relatives, the friends, or even for us. And you have to remember, we have a very long history. And not an awful lot of it is good history. It's oivei history. I was just thinking of Shlomo Molcho. Shlomo Molcho was a Jew in the Renaissance. And for some reason, he believed Messiah was going to come. And the only thing that was required for him to bring Messiah, and pretty much he probably thought he was Messiah, he went to see the Pope. Now, what do you think the Pope would do with an upstart Jew who asks for an audience?
Cut off his head.
Well, Solomon Molcho was one of our martyrs. Now, if you do a quantum leap from that period in our history, the Renaissance, to the current situation in which we find ourselves, we live in a democracy, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of voting, and we have come so far, we cannot let this set us back. We send forth our prayers in high regard for the families in Pittsburgh who are mourning. But this only strengthens our resolve to be as Jewish as we possibly can. Thank you. And with this in mind, the Shema, frankly, was the last prayer that a lot of martyrs said. We'll cover the eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Uncover the eyes. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto Li'olam Voed. Let's read the English paragraph. You shall love. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. All right, reads, okay. Page 31, the tzitzit paragraph.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר לבני ישראל. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen.
32, midway down, we have the Mincha Mocha.
מי כמוך דברים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר וקודש, נורא זהירות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראובנך, מוקיים לבני משה, צרי אנו ואמרו Adonai Yimloch Leolam Laed ונאמר כי פדוני יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Right, 33, the top left, this is the prayer we customarily dedicate to our friends and families, Jewish, Gentile, anyone at all, in need of refuah shlema, in need of healing. And tonight we dedicate the prayer for refuah shlema, quick and speedy healing, to the grieving families in Pittsburgh, as well as to my sister-in-law, Yochevet Masha, Bat Avram Simcha Baruch, V'yenta Leah. Okay, going round for
James
names.
Basmajian
Refuah shlema.
and Jack Oscar.
Refuah shlema. Yes. Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. Yes.
Ann Hershkowitz,
Before Shlema.
and Dina Scotty.
Before Shlema. Yes, Morty.
Martin Baker,
Before
Robert
Shlema.
Della.
Before Shlema. Okay. All right, continuing.
Phyllis Newberger.
Before Shlema. Okay, yes, Toby.
Todd Austin.
Before Shlema. Sure.
Marilyn Silverman,
Before
Robbie
Shlema.
Diner.
Before Shlema. Yes.
Seraphine Klein,
Before Shlema.
Dr. Donald Commodore.
Before Shlema. Okay.
Joel and Judy Cousins,
Before Shlema.
Arnold Cousins,
Before Shlema.
Jerry Sugarman,
Before Shlema.
Arlene Rusicki.
Before Shlema. Yes. Marty. Okay.
Marty.
Before Shlema. Yes.
Bruce Martin,
Before Shlema.
Susan DeGiorgio,
Before Shlema.
Rosemary Klein.
Before Shlema. Yes.
John Granacki,
Before Shlema.
Martin Reynolds.
Before Shlema. Okay. Also, we think about our brave troops protecting our country all over the world. We think about our brothers and sisters in the embattled state of Israel and all the innocents in that part of the world. And I'm sure you saw, as I did, that words do not express the tragedy for what's happening in Yemen. That picture of the little girl. She was only 7. Let's read the English paragraph at the top left of 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, aporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. 34 is the V'shamru.
Please rise. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. הוא היום השביעי, שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמר רבן, ועלמא דיברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחיי כל יום יום אחד, וחיי לכל רגע בית ישראל, עליו עליו, ובזמן הקריב, באמרו אמן. יש ורבה ומבורך, לעולם ולעולם ויומיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי קודשם, לילה מן כל ברכתה, ושירתה, תושבחתה ונאמתה, להביע בעלמה, באמרו אמן.
All right, the Amidah follows. That's the standing silent prayer. And it begins on 35b and concludes on 38. You can read the whole thing, or what I've been doing is focusing on just one line, okay, and just repeating it over and over again like a mantra. When you're finished, you may be seated.
שלא ייגמר לעולם. החול והים רישוש של המים ורק השמיים תפילת האדם. החול והים רישוש של המים ורק השמיים תפילת האדם. אלי אלי, my God, my God, שלא ייגמר לעולם, shall never end, החול והים, the sand and the water and the sea, רישוש של המים, the movement and the sound of the sea, Berak Hashamayim, the thunsters,
The thunder, the
of
lightning actually.
the lightnings of the sky. Tfilat Adam, the prayer of the human being. In this moment shall never end. The prayer. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, achor ve'ayam, rish rush, shel hamayim, be'erat hashamayim, tfilat Adam, achor ve'ayam, rish rush, shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat Adam.
Yeshko.
Kali Shalem on page number 38. Yitgadal Vitkala Shem Rabah. Bi'alba Librachilute Ve'abrich Malchute Ve'chai Chorem Yamichor Ve'chai Dechor Bet Israel. Ba'ala Vizumagani Ve'imbro. Yereish Meir Rava Mevorach. Leolam Leor Meor Maya. Yitbarach. Yitbarach Vishtabach Vitpar Vidrom Vidnase Vitadar Vidale Vidal Shmei Kodeshar. Reina Minikor Virchata Vishata Tushvechata Vrechimata Viram Yarma Veimbro. תתכוון אצל הדורות, לכל ישראל, כדמות משמעיה ואימברו. יגיש למרבה משמעיה וחיים עלינו על כל ישראל ואימברו. עושה שלום ואימברו מה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואימברו
Kiddush will give out the wine or the juice.
Kiddush. See? Oh.
This is the wine, there's juice to follow. This is wine. This is juice. This is wine. Wine. This is the juice.
Wine.
Oh, yes.
No, that wine is why is over
That
here.
would be very helpful for a candidate to have to come, yes. Juice. Wine. Juice. Wine.
Not well, there's
Juice.
wine.
There's
Okay.
wine. Wine.
Get started. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'gafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu. בשבת כל שעות, ואהבה ורצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום ותחילה למקראי קודש, שכל יציאת ממצרים, קיבלנו Amen. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
All right, the Aleinu, ask the cantor and the.
Can you mix,
Excuse me, sweetie.
can you mix wine and juice on the same time?
Sure.
You know, could you open the arm?
Like, wait, no.
Good job, Sonny. Be careful.
Read
it.
Aleinu לשבח גדול הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו למשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, ואור עלינו ככל עבודיו. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים נמהר, ושכינת סוף, שכינת סוף, ויאמר מרובים, הוא אלוהינו אלוהינו, אמת דרכנו אפס זולתו, נקטו בתורתו, וידעת היום השמות בלבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ובמדבר, ועל הארץ מתחתינו אינו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
All right, the ark is closed. I'm going to ask all of you to remain standing. We're all going to say a collective Kaddish in memory of our brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabban, amen. Yalmad yivrav v'rutei v'yamnit machutei. V'chayei chon v'yimei chon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalah v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabban mevorach v'yolam v'mei hayah. Yitbarach v'yishtavach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha v'ruhu. V'yelam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechmata. Tamiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom al rabba ben Shemaya. Chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. Please be seated. We'll hear a few words from our wonderful temple president, Rita Fleming Klein.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor. I want to say good Shabbos to everyone and welcome to our new friends. I'm so happy to have new faces here. It's wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And for our wonderful faces that I know so well, welcome back, always welcome back. I'm very excited today to have two little girls with us. The future of the Jewish people is with us in these beautiful little girls. All of the giggles and deliciousness of them marks what we must take solace in after this solemn week. We have a future, we have a life, and those who've lost their lives we think of daily. Two of our temple members know the mother of the two brothers who were slain in Pittsburgh. It comes very close. I wanted to tell you something. Would it be appropriate, Rabbi, if I read this?
Sure.
During the minyan this week, Cantor Javier read something that's very touching. It's called A Message to the Baby Whose Bris It Was at the Pittsburgh Synagogue. Some of you may have heard this already. Little boy, what's your name? Do you have one? Sweet baby, just 8 days, what should we call you? I have heard the sacred circumcision postponed for jaundiced yellow, but never before for bloodshed red. Is your name Shalom? We long for peace in this troubled world. I hope you are Shalom. Is your name Nahum? Oh, how we need to be comforted in our grief. I hope you are Nahum. Is your name Raphael? Our broken hearts and bleeding souls need healing. I hope you are Raphael. You should have been carried high into the congregation on Shabbat morning, passed from loving hands to loving hands on a cushioned pillow to receive your Jewish name. Instead, your elders fell and were carried out on stretchers in plastic bags, their names on tags. Is your name Moshe? Our unbearable anguish and rage demands justice. I hope you are Moshe. Is your name Ariel? We need the ferocious strength of lions to protect our people. I hope you are Ariel. Is your name Barak? We need courageous warriors to vanquish our enemies. I hope you are Barak. The blood on Shabbat morning was supposed to be covenantal, not sacrilegious. Sacramental, not sacrificial. Sacred, not unholy. The tears were supposed to be tears of boundless joy, not bottomless sorrow. The cries were supposed to be Mazel Tov, not the mourner's Kaddish. Is your name Simcha? We need an end to sadness by bringing joy into our world. I hope you are Simcha. Is your name Yaron? We need an end to mourning by bringing song into our lives. I hope you are Yaron. Is your name Matan? We need the gift of children. The gift of children who will bring a better tomorrow. I hope you are Matan. So little boy, what is your name? Take them all if you will. Take 1,000 names. Be peace and comfort and healing. Be justice and strength and courage. Be joy and song and a gift to the world. Be every good name and every good thing. And sweet baby, take one more name if you will. Because I hope you will be blessed with a long, blissful, beautiful, and meaningful life. I hope you are Chaim. I leave you with this. Please come tomorrow. Tomorrow has been declared worldwide Shabbat. We're all coming together, every Jew, to come to Shul on Saturday morning, all over the world, to join in the Mourner's Kaddish for our 11 beautiful people who we lost. Come and be with us. come and be with us for all the wonderful things we have in store for you on our temple schedule. Take the bulletin home and check them out. Today I won't go into them, but we have wonderful, wonderful things for you. A sweet Shabbat to all of you. It doesn't say, let me see.
That's all.
Zev. Zev. Zev.
Okay.
Zev Silverman. Silverman. Zev Silverman.
All right, we'll conclude with the Adon Olam.
On page number 54, I used to invite all the children here. We have only two. One of them is coming only for the Adon Olam. What is the name of the little one there?
Galit.
Galit. So you can come with the father to sing the Adon Olam because I cannot hear both of them. Yeah. Galia wants to say that she was 3 days ago.
She was two last Thursday?
Okay, so we have 2 birthdays
And
today.
Gali and Gali, Gali and Gali.
Gali and Galia. Okay, Galita and Galia. Very casual. Casual. Okay, come here. So, Adon Olam. 1, 2, 3. Adon Olam. Asher Malach. בטרם כל יציר נברא לנסה בקצו כל אזי שמו נקרא אדון עולם ואחרי ככלות הכל למדו אם לא נורא אדון עולם והוא היה והוא עובר והוא יהיה ותפארה אדון עולם והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להגמירה אדון עולם בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא עוז והמשרה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא דון להנסה בקרצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם והוא אלי וחיי גואלי בצור קברי בצרה אדון עולם והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנחוסי ויום אקרא אדון עולם ביעדו אפקיד רוחי בעת תשען והעירה אדון עולם בהים רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להנדסה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם.
Please rise for the closing benediction.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך,
The Lord bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך,
The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
The Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. And to the families who are bereft, we say, Hamakom Yenachem Otam B'Toshe Arav Elei Tzion Yerushalayim. May the Almighty comfort them with the rest of the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We say, Amen.
אמן. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת 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 שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת 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 שלום. שבת 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 שלום. שבת 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 שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת 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 שלום.